This is one of those moments. You gotta ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? The world ain't built for guys like us. That's why we gotta take whatever we decide is ours.
Those Carmine Falco's right hand. Try to push me out. Whoa, hey! You ain't seen what I can do.
If you step out of line, even once, I'll gut you like a goddamn fish. Can you imagine the people saying my name in the streets after you're gone? Have it mean something? The new Kingpin of Gotham.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my new Batman Penguin trailer they just dropped. The series is coming in 2024 next year, so I'll explain what's going on, how this connects with the Batman movie franchise like the Batman 2 that they're filming right now, and James Gunn's big reboot of the DC movies. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. I will do episode videos for the series just like I did for the Peacemaker series. It's sort of like the next in the long line of DC doing their big budget HBO series, kind of like Marvel's doing the Disney Plus series. The only difference with this, as you probably guessed from James Gunn's explanation earlier this year when he announced his big reboot projects and what the timeline's going to be, is that the Batman franchise with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson will be set in a completely different universe. They'll consider it official Elseworlds. Like there are a couple Elseworlds projects, this is one of them.
It's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCEU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity.
So James Gunn is just letting Matt Reeves do whatever he wants in his own different universe, so all these characters aren't meant to be connected to what's happening with the new Batman Brave and the Bold movie, which will be a much older version of the character with Damian Wayne, and connected to all his other movies and series that he's considering his gods and monsters like DC Phase 1, DC Chapter 1 they're calling it. The way they describe this series, though, it's sort of like Colin Farrell doing his version of Scarface, but with the Penguin character.
I came to Penguin and the idea of Batman when Burgess Meredith played Penguin and Adam West played Batman.
To me, his character is kind of like Scarface. He's totally underestimated and he knows he can be more.
Say hello to my little friend!
It's meant to pick up a week after the first Batman movie ended, which is why most of the city, Gotham City, is still underwater and FEMA is still there, like you see the FEMA truck in the city. And after the death of Carmine Falcone, it leaves this power vacuum within the Falcone crime family, and his family, like his daughter and his son, are a big part of the series, as is Salvatore Maroni, played by Clancy Brown, of all people. It's going to be amazing. So Penguin gets into this mad dash for power to fill that power vacuum, take over the Falcone crime family, and it sounds like he'll be fighting his widow as well as his daughter and his son. Carmine's daughter is Sophia Falcone, played by Kristen Milioti. You probably recognize her from a billion other things. Just based on the synopsis, though, in the footage in the trailer, it sounds like she's also going to be Penguin's love interest. So they'll have a very complicated relationship where she's low-grade fighting him for control of the family, but he's also trying to hit it throughout the entire series. Carmine's son is also a big part of the series, Alberto Falcone. It sounds like he'll also be vying for control of the family as well on his own. So this is three-way battle for control of the family. But you also see Penguin coming to meet Shohreh Aghdashloo, and her men seem like they're about to kill him. So she seems very powerful. She might wind up being the widow of Carmine, or she might be Salvatore Maroni's wife. So they're using the series to develop more of the mob element in Gotham. We saw a lot of it during the first Batman movie, but there are a ton of characters that they didn't feature. Like, we only saw pictures of Salvatore Maroni. We didn't actually see him in the flesh. Because they cast Clancy Brown, and you don't cast him in just one-off light roles, it sounds like he's going to be the main antagonist to Penguin during the series. Like, it's about a bunch of terrible people. So if the Penguin is going to be the protagonist of the series, you have to put him up against someone who's even worse, even more powerful. That would be Salvatore Maroni, who will be trying to get out of prison now that he found out what Carmine Falcone did, basically informing on him, throwing him under the bus, even though all the mob members in the city, all the different crime families, were part of the money laundering scheme with the Gotham City Renewal Fund set up by Thomas Wayne. You also have the idea that the Batman will be after Penguin as well, watching him like a hawk, like a bat, if you want to think of it that way. Technically, bats don't see so well, they use echolocation. Even though Penguin and Batman worked together, like Penguin helped Batman find out what was going on with Carmine Falcone, Penguin kind of informed on him. It took Batman a little while in the movie to actually figure out what he was really telling him, but he was telling him without telling him outright. Like, the call's been coming from inside the room the whole time. Carmine informed on everyone. He was the informant the whole time. You notice Penguin drives a purple Maserati. I guess because it's Italian, we're talking about the mob here. Seems a little on the nose to make more Penguin jokes. The way that Matt Reeves described his character during the events of the Batman movie, because it was meant to be Batman Year 2, the Penguin character was still meant to be one of Carmine's lieutenants, not that powerful, but he still controlled the Iceberg Lounge, which you also see him going back to during the trailer. And because this is after the disaster that was caused by the Riddler's bombs and the flooding in the city, that's all still going on, you see the wreckage of the sign outside, like the club is still in tatters, but it's still there. I love the way they end the trailer, though, with him using the Kingpin reference, because we've been talking about Daredevil coming back in the MCU. They're filming the Daredevil Born Again series over in the Marvel Universe, and Kingpin is going to be running for mayor during that, the Kingpin of crime in the city. But that's basically what Penguin is saying. He wants to become the Kingpin of crime in Gotham City. The de facto leader of all crime families, not just the Falcone crime family.
Me, I want what's coming to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you, Tommy?
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
Matt Reeves also said the series is supposed to bridge the gap between the first Batman movie and the Batman 2, which is just calling the Batman 2 right now. The rumored villains of that are Mr. Freeze. They've also talked about Clayface. I believe Matt Reeves said that he wants to eventually do all the classic Batman villains, so they'll just get to all of them eventually. Robert Pattinson is supposed to guest star on the series. There was some question about the TV rights for Batman and how that was all working out with Disney, because technically they own the Fox network, and Fox had the right to do Batman on the Gotham series that they did a couple years ago. The way James Gunn explained that, it's not an issue. They can do as much Robert Pattinson Batman during the series as they want to, so it sounds like he'll be in a couple episodes. Probably a little bit as Bruce Wayne and a little bit as Batman. But like I said, most of the series will be about Penguin seizing power within all the different mob families in Gotham in the wake of this disaster, and try to deal with Salvatore Maroni, who will probably find a way to get out of prison and then go after him and try to seize control of all the crime families himself. Within the history of this Batman universe, they actually explained that's what happened the first time around with the Gotham City Renewal Fund and how Salvatore Maroni was thrown under the bus. When he went to prison, Carmine Falcone basically seized all the Maroni crime family's territory, and now that Salvatore Maroni is getting out, he's probably going to try and take all that back. So big mob war coming to the Penguin series. But it's basically Oswald Cobblepot becoming the truer version of the classic Penguin that you remember from all the previous Batman movies that take place a little bit later in their timeline. A lot of you now asking what's going on with the Riddler and Barry Keoghan's Joker character. They're still in Arkham Asylum. That's supposedly the next spin-off series that Matt Reeves is developing. They didn't say when that's going to premiere, but that'll feature more of Batman's rogues gallery of villains. I'm guessing that might drop sometime after the Batman 2 winds up releasing. So every couple of years we get a new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, and between those we get the series to bridge the gap. Pretty much anybody from the movies, like Catwoman, obviously Jim Gordon, the Gotham City police characters, anybody else that you saw in the movies is fair game to show up on this series or the Arkham Asylum series. So the Riddler could come back during this, even Barry Keoghan's Joker could come back during this too. The big reminder, though, is that this Robert Pattinson Batman and any of these characters will not cross over into James Gunn's Gods and Monsters DCU connected universe. So when we get to the Batman Brave and the Bold movie, it'll be all recast versions of any characters that they use that are similar, like a new version of the Joker, obviously a new version of Batman. It sounds like it's going to be a couple years before we get to that movie, so it'll be a long time before people have to worry about that. For a while, there were rumors that Ben Affleck was going to come back and direct, like he might direct Batman Brave and the Bold, but then Ben Affleck was like, hell no, I'm not coming back. Now there's rumors that Andy Muschietti, who just directed the Flash movie, is actually going to be doing Batman Brave and the Bold, because literally everyone at Warner Brothers and anyone who has seen the movie already claims it is like the greatest movie to ever hit cinema. If it really does wind up doing as well as people say it's going to do, then expect Andy Muschietti to direct other DC movies inside James Gunn's Gods and Monsters. We'll see who winds up directing that next rebooted Justice League movie. Like, would it be James Gunn because he's doing Superman Returns? Or will it wind up being Andy Muschietti because it sounds like he wants to direct a Justice League movie too? I'm sure there's going to be a ton of questions about what's going on with the series. We'll probably get a much bigger trailer later this year, so of course I'll do more videos for it when we get more footage. Because HBO Max is rebranding as just Max, like they're just changing the name a little bit, they announced a bunch of other new TV series with a bunch of teasers and trailers, like there was a Harry Potter reboot trailer. I'll do a video for that. And then there was a Game of Thrones, Night of the Seven Kingdoms trailer for the next Game of Thrones spinoff. I'll do a video for that as well too. While you wait for everything, everyone click here for my brand new Blue Beetle trailer with another Batman reference, and click here for my full Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 7 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.